It finally happened. After weeks of drama, whispers on the sideline, endless debates on sports radio, and more quarterback speculation than a soap opera could handle, the Cleveland Browns actually did it. Shedeur Sanders has officially been named the starting quarterback. And right there, in that single decision, Cleveland's future just took a sharp turn into a brand new era. Now, let's be real. This wasn't exactly a bolt of lightning out of nowhere. If you were paying attention, if you really followed the preseason the way I did, you could feel this moment humming in the background the whole time. Every snap, every post-game interview where Shedeur kept it cool, saying just enough but letting the play do the talking. Every time the camera cut to him on the sideline, helmet off, shoulders squared, eyes locked in, studying like his life depended on it. It was all there. But when the news actually dropped, boom, chaos. The internet caught fire. Talk shows didn't know whether to laugh, scream, or throw a parade. And Browns fans, the real ones, the ones who've lived through every heartbreaking quarterback experiment since the early 2000s, they felt something shift. Because this wasn't just another rookie waits his turn while the veteran holds the fort situation. This wasn't a casual depth chart shuffle. This was a power shift. And let me tell you, the Browns front office knew exactly what kind of bomb they were dropping. Naming a rookie QB1 in Cleveland isn't just a football move, it's a cultural statement. It says, we're not playing it safe anymore, we're not delaying the future, we're building it right now. And look, I'll always give Joe Flacco his respect. Super Bowl champ, battle-tested veteran, good locker room guy. But let's not kid ourselves. He was never meant to carry Cleveland into the next decade. His job was to keep the wheels steady until the engine was ready. Well, guess what? The engine is revved up, it's purring, and its name is Shedeur Sanders. And man, the way he got here is just wild. From the moment training camp started, Shedeur didn't act like some wide-eyed rookie. He didn't strut around with ego either. He just executed. Precise mechanics, calm in the pocket, smart decisions. And that intangible it factor, you only know when you see it. He wasn't playing like a kid learning on the job. He was orchestrating the game like a general, like he's been here for years. And while the official chart had him sitting at QB3 behind Flacco and Dylan Gabriel, fans weren't fooled. They knew, I knew. That wasn't hiding. That was protecting. But now, that protection is gone. The shield is off. And Cleveland fans are strapping on armor, ready to go to war for this kid. Because this doesn't just feel like excitement. This feels like hope. Real hope. The kind this fan base has been starved of for decades. I mean, think about it. Browns fans have lived through the Brady Quinn mess, the Johnny Manziel circus, the Deshaun Kaiser disaster, the Baker Mayfield roller coaster. It's been heartbreak after heartbreak, and now they're watching Shedeur and saying, wait a second, this one feels different. This one feels sustainable. Because Shedeur Sanders doesn't just bring talent. He brings presence. He talks like a vet. He thinks like a coach. He plays like a leader who's been here before. That's not just training. That's DNA. That's legacy. That's the Sanders effect. And here's the crazy part. The Browns almost didn't pull the trigger. They could have dragged this out, played it safe, sent Flacco out there for 6 games in the name of mentorship. But give credit where it's due. They didn't overthink it. They listened to the locker room, they watched the tape, and tape never lies. What they saw was a rookie processing blitzes like a vet, commanding the huddle like a franchise guy, and earning the trust of everyone in that building. Now, of course, not everyone's thrilled. Some fans say it's too soon, others want Flacco to get his farewell tour, and then there are the haters screaming nepotism, saying he's only starting because of his last name. To those people, stop it. Seriously, you don't complete 75% of your passes in the preseason, you don't stay calm under pressure, you don't win over an NFL locker room and get handed the job just because of your dad. That's not how this league works. Shedeur earned this, every inch of it, and now the story really begins. Because from this point on, every snap he takes will be dissected, every throw analyzed, every mistake magnified. The pressure? Immense. The expectations? Sky high. But here's what blows my mind about this kid. He's not rattled. He's built for it. He doesn't treat pressure like a problem, he treats it like part of the process. So picture this. Week 1, 70,000 fans losing. Their minds in Cleveland, cameras flashing. A city that's carried decades of football pain, all staring at one kid in a brown and orange jersey. And when he jogs out there, he's not going to blink. He's going to ball. And when he throws that first touchdown pass, when the stadium erupts, and Kevin Stefanski gives that little nod like, yeah, I knew this all along, the internet is going to break. That clip will live forever. Because for the first time in forever, Cleveland didn't flinch. They didn't play it safe. They trusted the kid. They trusted Shedeur. And I'll be real with you guys. This isn't just the start of a season. This is the start of a movement. So buckle up, because the Browns aren't just playing football anymore. They're rewriting their history. And Shedeur Sanders, he's holding the pen. Oh man, where do I even start with this? Kevin Stefanski right now looks like a man staring straight into the abyss. You can see it in his posture, you can hear it in his voice. He's a coach clinging to his job while the ground crumbles underneath him. And yet, when the microphones are shoved in his face, he tries to put on that calm, professional mask. I don't concern myself with the outside noise. I'm committed to his development. That's what he said. But let's be real. That wasn't confidence. That was desperation. That was a man trying to convince himself, not us. And at the center of this storm, Shedeur Sanders. From the moment he arrived in Cleveland, it feels like he's been set up, thrown into impossible situations, denied the basic opportunities a young quarterback needs to grow. He was tossed into preseason battles without protection, without a real supporting cast. It's like asking a rookie gunslinger to walk into a duel, but instead of a revolver, you hand him a pocket knife. What chance does he really have? But then came the breaking point, the moment that blew the lid off all of this. 2-minute drill, the type of situation every young quarterback needs, that crucible moment where you prove to yourself and everyone watching that you belong in the fire. And what happens? Stefanski yanks Shedeur out and hands the reins to Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley, a journeyman stopgap with no long-term future in Cleveland. That was the choice. And right there, the message was crystal clear. This wasn't about development. This was about control. The backlash was instant. Fans erupted. Analysts started asking the obvious question, why in the world would you rob Shedeur of that opportunity? And then, to make matters worse, Cleveland cut several of the offensive linemen who had actually been blocking for Shedeur. Contracts terminated overnight. It looked less like a roster move and more like a hit job. And Stefanski? He scrambled in front of the cameras, muttering about Huntley needing reps. But his voice cracked, his excuses felt hollow. He knew. We all knew. That decision backfired spectacularly. Former Browns receiver T.J. Houshmandzadeh didn't hold back. He torched Stefanski, saying flat out, "This looks personal. I've never seen a coach sabotage his own quarterback like this." And he's not alone. Analysts across the board are sounding the alarm, warning that this doesn't just threaten Shedeur Sanders, it threatens Stefanski's entire career. Because you can feel it. The fans have made their choice. The chants are growing louder. Shedeur is our quarterback. Shedeur deserves to start week 1. Shedeur is the future. But the coaching staff? It's almost like they're terrified of that future. Like they've been writing a script from day one, a script where no matter how well Shedeur played, the narrative would be twisted, the credit withheld, the flaws magnified. Remember his preseason debut? Poise, command, accuracy. He looked like the real deal. National media gave him love. And Stefanski? He offered nothing but dismissive empty words, as if praising his rookie was forbidden. And that brings us here to a revelation that stunned the league. Shedeur Sanders has gone nuclear. He's filed a lawsuit against Kevin Stefanski. Not a dispute, not a sideline shouting match. An actual lawsuit. Sabotage. character assassination, intentional obstruction of his career. These aren't just words being thrown around on talk shows. These are legal claims backed by documentation, evidence, strategy. His legal team has been preparing this for months, collecting receipts from training camp, practice film, even medical records that reportedly disprove phantom injuries. Think about how wild that is. The Philadelphia preseason game, Shedeur. Practices lights out all week, he earns the start, and then suddenly he's benched with an oblique injury. But medical records show he was completely fine. That's not just shady, that's calculated. And the fallout, oh, it's massive. Networks are furious. When Sanders doesn't play, ratings tank. Advertisers are livid. CBS and Fox are rethinking primetime slots. ESPN is circling the story like sharks in the water. This isn't just a Browns controversy anymore. This is shaking the entire NFL. Ownership is panicking. Jimmy Haslam is reportedly being pressured daily by fellow owners, by sponsors, by executives who can't afford the brand damage. And social media? Forget about it. Hashtags like Free Shedeur and Fire Stefanski are everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Fans are dissecting every snap, every play call, every decision that kept Sanders off the field. And the young generation of fans? They've turned this into a cultural flashpoint. This is about more than football to them. It's about empowerment. It's about standing up against outdated, oppressive systems. And here's the craziest part. The tape doesn't lie. By every measurable, Shedeur Sanders earned it. He outperformed Dillon Gabriel in completion percentage, in touchdown ratio, in pocket awareness. Teammates felt it. Veterans admitted it. Joe Flacco himself allegedly said, "The kid's ready right now." Yet somehow, Gabriel got the nod while Sanders got shoved aside. So now we're staring at something the NFL has never really dealt with before. A quarterback suing his coach. A player challenging not just a man, but the entire power structure of football. For decades, coaches have had unchecked authority over depth charts, injury reports, and roster moves. But Shedeur's lawsuit is saying, enough. If you deliberately sabotage me, I'm coming after you. And that's the Pandora's box. Because if this succeeds, if Sanders wins in court, what's stopping the next player from suing over misuse? What's stopping veterans from claiming age discrimination? This could unravel the entire hierarchy of the NFL. That's why the league is panicking. That's why Roger Goodell himself is reportedly stepping in with daily crisis briefings. Inside Cleveland, the cracks are already spreading. Assistant coaches siding quietly with Sanders, the GM distancing himself from Stefanski, players openly backing Shedeur on social media. The locker room is splitting, veterans clinging to the old system, younger players rallying around Sanders as a symbol of change. And the money? Oh, the money is staggering. Lost endorsements, lost sponsorships, lost ticket sales. Brands don't want to be attached to dysfunction. Nike, local sponsors, national partners, all threatening to walk if Sanders continues being sidelined. So here we are. This isn't just about a rookie quarterback anymore. This is a cultural storm, a business crisis, a legal battle, and potentially the unraveling of Kevin Stefanski's entire career. And the irony? The very man who tried to silence Shedeur Sanders might end up being destroyed by the very chaos he created. So let me throw it to you. Was this just incompetence? Or was this personal? Did Stefanski deliberately set Shedeur up to fail? Or is this a bigger reflection of the NFL's broken system? And most importantly, do you believe Stefanski can survive this? Or are we watching the beginning of the end for his time in Cleveland?